Dialects. Northern versus Southern Potawatomi. Although there are some different words from community to community, I prefer to focus on the similarities. The Potawatomi we teach has been greatly influenced by the folks in Wisconsin, but I do know a considerable number of Kansas terminologies which I mix among my Potawatomi. I tend to think by learning both ways of saying something you're able to adapt in either community. The largest difference occurs in the Potawatomi which is spoken in Canada, in areas such as Cape Croker, Kettle Point, Wissahickon, and Walpole Island. This language is usually referred to as Three Fires because it has a mix of Potawatomi, Odawa, and Ojibwe in it. They also tend to favor the Fierro writing system in Canada. Northern Potawatomi, they tend to favor the B sound over the P, the G sound over the K, at least on initial words, the D sound over the T, particularly on the fronts of words. So up north they would say Bama-P versus Pama-P in Kansas. Both mean later on. In the South, or Southern Potawatomi, spoken mainly in Kansas, they tend to favor the P sound over the B, the T sound over the D, the K sound over the G. So they would say something like Pama-P, while up north they say Bama-P. Another phenomenon that happens in the South is a lot of times initial sounds sometimes get dropped. So if there's like two consonants together, a good example would be Bamadzawan, is how they would say life in the North. Well, in the South, a lot of times you just hear Madzawan, so they drop that initial B. So when a B or a P comes up against another consonant, sometimes you'll find it gets dropped. So which one is right? Neither. I believe that the true Potawatomi sound is somewhere in between the two. Remember that we're using English letters to represent Potawatomi sounds. I think on certain words they will tend to sound more like P's instead of B's, and some words will sound more like G's instead of K's, so try not to get hung up on that. There are some words which are different, and how come? My speculation is that Potawatomi in Kansas had later contact with Kickapoo and Sac and Fox, while those in Wisconsin had later contact with the Ojibwe and Odawa people. So occasionally a word was borrowed. In fact, the Kickapoo spoken in Kansas is extremely similar to Kansas Potawatomi because so many Potawatomi married into the Kickapoo tribe. Potawatomi became the language of choice for most on the Kickapoo reservation. A few different words. Kajo for cat, or mayos. Mjoe, rabbit, or wabozo in the north. Mjoe for rabbit, or wabozo in the north. Binagchige, or binchige for he or she cleans. A difference occurs here because they do not have the same types of rabbits in the South. In the South, it's a jackrabbit; in the North, a snowshoe rabbit. The differences are slight. Focus on the similarities and you will be better off. As you learn Potawatomi, take some time occasionally to learn the other word if you run across it. That way you can be respectful of the community you are in when you speak.